Guys, it's Aaron again. So today we're going to do the Tower of Lizard Valeth. So we have to complete the quest, no items, and we have to evoke an Esper. So we're just going to use some 3 to 4 star units. So that's why we're searching for a friend with a light weapon. As you can see, that's the equipment of our friend with at least 2061 attacks. And the next would be our Garneth. Our Garneth is just there for the evocation. I'm just giving her some of my equipments. As you can see, I guess it's Western for mine for some MP. So some evocation magic, and that's all she will do there. And some, we have to evoke 2 Espers for now. Then we have to defeat him with a limit burst. So that's the equipments, and also we need the life harmony for some resistances, elemental resistances from the boss. Next would be we're just going to use Divine Ruination for this fight to decrease his light mag damage, and we're using Excalibur, and we're using some free equipments. As you can see, our Wire of Light has a 12,000 HP, and then we're going to use Brave Presence to get all the normal attacks and some of the random magic attacks from the boss. And we're getting our Mistia. Our Mistia is just there for the magic tank, and he has at least high resistances. And then our Soleil is just there for the buffs for our team, and that's it. So this is the Espers we're equipping our units. Not much of a Espers that specified Esper that will help us. I gave our Mistia with Lakshmi so that I won't be dealing any magic or decrease in elemental resistance when I equip other Espers. It also can be Odin if you want to, or Bahamut is also viable for this fight. So he will now strike first. The thing is reflect sorcery, and then which is gives him a reflect on magic, and then also it will be giving us some of the, as you can see, Tome of Alchemy if I'm right. So we're just going to cover with our Mistia, and then our Soleil will just use the Tome of Alchemy if I'm right. Yep, we're just going to use Tome of Alchemy so that once we hit the threshold of 60% or 70%, if I'm 60%, he will not do any damage. So he will do other patterns, which is he will just damage us with elemental magics and a little bit of non-elemental, but we can handle those. And as you can see, we're just damaging him. So there's a prismatic missile which is going to kill our Mistia because we don't have our buffs yet, and there's so much damage from those. And as you can see, our Mistia dies, so that's why Garneth will just raise her, and then just like that. And mind you guys, he can't be break with spirit and defense, but he can be break with arms eraser or the attack and magic. So mostly he will deal magic damage, so decreasing his magic attack will be very good for this fight. So our flat is we're just checking if we have all the stats that we need. So we're now going to use arms eraser so that we can decrease his magic and attack. So we're now at 62%, and almost that we hit the threshold wherein he will deal more magic damage. So all we have to do now is just prepare for the fight once we hit the threshold at 60%, which is he will now deal a lot of different elemental magic. When I say different kinds, it is really different kinds of magic or different elemental magics. So now we're starting to build our defenses and attacks from our very reliable Soleil. So let's see. We're now going to use Tome of Alchemy just to be sure that when we hit the threshold we are just going to um, we already attack him with the Tome of Alchemy. So we hit the 60% threshold. As you can see, he will now deal a lot of elemental magics to our team. So there's a Dragon Bolt, another Dragon Bolt, which covered our Mystia, and then some, which is being resisted by our Mystia, and he got damaged with 55%. I think that's a dark attack, which is, it doesn't really matter because we almost have at least 90% if I'm right for the magic. So what we are going to do is we're now going to fill our Esper gauge, and then for our Mystia, we're just going to heal herself fully with Reinstate so that we can just heal her, and then for our Soleil, we're just continuing her dancing. For this fight, the only problem here is building the Esper or the limit burst and also the Esper gauge, because we need a lot of a lot of limit burst for this fight. So so as you can see, we're just resisting those damages from the boss, and then there's the summon, I think stones, or I forgot the name of the skill. So now we're just going to use Life Harmony because it's on turn 5, and then for Argeas, we're just going to use Dark Messenger so that we can now summon our first Esper. Mind you, we need 2 Espers for this fight, and then we are now going to use our Tartaria Wall again for Mystia, because as of now he won't be doing anything. And then we're just going to use like this Arms Eraser for our Warrior Flight, and then Misa is again. Now we're going to use Dual Slash so that we can generate some more Limit Burst Crystals. This is a matter of making some Limit Burst Crystals to the team, because as you can see, if you have another Hyo and then you also have a Hyo friend, you can just easily kill Lizard Valeth after you just got all the Limit Burst Crystals for this. So I'm just showing you that we can still use a 3 to 4 star base units for some of the trials on this, and just relying simply on the friend that we're using, especially on the 7 star Yo. And that's the trick on those. And as you can see, we are again just using Cleansing Strike so that we have our chances of getting some Esper orbs and also some Limit Burst Crystals to our teams. So we're just waiting for the Limit Burst of Fireflight to be filled up. So we're just waiting, and there's a Celestial Star, which is the Prismatic and the Phrygic Damsel, which is we're just going to resist those. And as you can see, we all resisted almost all of the damages from Lizard Valeth. So for Warrior Flight, I think I had a little bit of difficulty in mana, because as you can see, I don't have that the mana regen for our team. So that's why I'm just using or just limiting my damages from the boss. At the same time, I'm not making I'm just making sure that I won't be killing the boss instantly with some of my attacks. And there goes the damages again from Lizard Valeth. But as you can see, we definitely decrease his attack. So as you can see, it decreased enormously from the damages from Lizard. So we're now at turn 8. We're just going to use Life Harmony again so that we can resist all those damages, and then some chaining again and cleansing from our Gagias and double blade to or dual slash from our Hyo. And now we going to use Arms Eraser again, and as you can see, we're now on 106 MP from Wire of Light, 162 from Agrias, and then some MP. And unfortunately, we still have at least half of Wire of Light's limit burst filled up. So we're just going to hang on right there so that we can just we can still fight, and we're going to use Blessing of the Life Giver from Misia, although we don't need those, but they won't be using. As you can see, we're just going to use Spirited Eidolon so that we can just heal or just fill our Esper gauge. So I'm just checking what is the last time that we casted from Soleil. And then there's the Dark Messenger, which is we're going to summon. That is our second Esper gauge, so we already wrote or checked those from the missions. So that's the second time we used our Esper. So all we have to do now is just use with the damages from the boss. So prismatic missile again, and then it almost killed our Misia with half of each HP. So we're now going to use Tritilea Ball, and then we're going to use Life Harmony for this fight. Cleansing Strike again for our Agrias, and then a Provoke from our Flight because we have to rebuff our team. And then for Soleil, we're just going to use again her dancing skills. So we already casted our attack, so we're now going to use Panzer Dance for this fight. As you can see, Frigid Damsel is then Dragon Bolt, Fire Lance, and then we're just checking our limit burst. So he only has level 1, unfortunately, so we can't just hit him with our limit burst from our hero. So that's why we're just going to chain until we got our Wire of Light's limit burst up. So we're just going to use Divine Ruination just to a little bit of decreasing his attack and his HP or his HP. So we're just going to use single target Servant of the Blade, and also a proper chance to get our limit burst crystals on Wire of Light to be up or to be filled. So we're just checking from our Mystia. So we're just going to use Blessing of the Giver just in case he will do a crazy thing on our Mystia, so that we are very ready. So there goes, and then there's the Celestial Star. A little bit more, we're going to get our Wire of Light his limit burst up. So we're now on turn 12, and then we're just checking for our buffs. So we're now going to use Cannon Dance, and then try to lay a wall again, and then we're just going to use Life Harmony to our team. And then for our Agrias, there's normal attacks from Wire of Light. And we have our almost just a little bit, I think that's 3 more limit burst crystals, and we are now good to go in killing the boss. So we're now at 28% of each HP. And then for Garneth, I think we're just going to use Kuraja to our team. because we're a little bit on low for the SP, and then cover from our Mystia, and then Soleil will just use Panzer Dance, and we're now just doing the normal attacks. And as you can see, on turn 13 we got our limit burst up from our flight, and the next turn we're just going to kill Lizard Valeth with all of our units, and also finishing him up with some limit burst coming from Warrior Flight. So we're going to use Crystal Saber, and then we're just going to use Divine Ruination, and then of course Servant of the Blade from our hero, and then we're just going to increase our attack. As you can see, we're just going to use Sword Dance or Cannon Dance right now. And then for our Garneth, we're just going to summon, or we're just going to use Guardian's Oath to fill our Esper, and then we're going to use again our third Esper, just to be sure that we already summoned at least 2 Espers. So we're now going to use Divine Ruination and Crystal Blade, and as you can see, there's the last damage from Warrior of Light, which also killed Lizard Valeth. And that's it. We got our all missions cleared, and I hope this fight helped you. So we're just going to check again, guys. Don't forget to subscribe on my channel. Please click the button on subscribe and also the bell, so that you'll know whenever I go to another unit. So bye guys, bye.